Hey everybody, I hope you can see this. We are streaming live on Facebook. My name is Andrew Haley. I'm the Wirecast product evangelist, and today I'm going to show you how to stream your mobile games on Facebook using Wirecast. So hopefully this will go smoothly. It's a bit of an experiment. It's the first time we're trying this, and we just kind of pulled this together in the last half an hour. And so I think it's a little meta because I'm going to be streaming my game while talking about streaming my game and showing you how to stream it to a different Facebook page, all to our Facebook page. So, it's going to be a journey. All right. I hope we can take questions and things like that once we get into it. But what I'm going to show you first here is my desktop. And what I have here is just a standard Wirecast document. So you can see that this is just kind of a blank document. I've saved it. It's on the desktop here, but I haven't really messed with it too much. I did point it to my Facebook destination. So I started by just going to my output settings. And the first thing you need to do, of course, if you haven't set up a live event on Facebook, is to do this. So you need to log into your account and then create a new event. So I might call this like, let's see, NBA Jam live on Facebook. Okay. And then we would go, I'm playing NBA Jam. Come hang out. And you could publish this to your profile, to another page that you own, whatever you want. You can make it public or friends or so forth. Okay. Then you hit create. And you might get we might need to re-authenticate here. So let's do that. So I'm going to type in my account. If you get an error like that, it shouldn't be a big deal. You just type in your account, your password, and then log in. Okay, once you're logged in, now we should be able to create the event, get a unique key. Looks good. That changed at the bottom, so I know Facebook's ready to receive the stream. If you are also doing this, you might want to record a local copy. I like to keep local copies just because then I have a backup of any recordings or broadcasts that I do. For this, I'm not going to do that because it's just a test, but that's a best practice I recommend. And hit OK. Now, you're pretty much ready to start streaming if you start streaming, but of course, we haven't added any sources. So this is where I'm going to get a little meta on you. I have plugged in my iPad, which is right here. And it is just going out of the lightning cable built into my MacBook Pro. And I'm going to actually show you that right now. I'm going to switch to the camera view so you can hopefully get a little tour of my setup here. So this is my setup. I've got the iPad here. You can see that. It's got NBA Jam already fired up on it. We're going out a lightning cable into the MacBook Pro, where that is how Wirecast, that's how we'll add it into Wirecast. Okay, so I'm going to switch back to the desktop view here, and now you should be able to see how I add this. So I'm just going to pop that down. Let's go to here, and if it's plugged in, it should just appear on the camera live sources, and you can see right here, trade show iPad shot. And that pops in right there. Okay? So pretty easy. We could do other things. We could add another camera. So I might actually just hover over the name, drag this to a lower layer, because I actually want to make room above. And I want to maybe put myself on top. Okay, so that's pretty easy to do using my webcam. So I might add my webcam, my FaceTime shot here. And then I pull that in. It's kind of blurry and fuzzy because the resolution is by default set to the lowest resolution. That's just a driver thing. So we're going to go to the sources, show source settings. We're going to select the FaceTime camera. This is the source settings window, is basically where you configure all this stuff. Your resolution settings, sources like iPads, things like that. Anything you need to make sure it change anything about it or configure, this is where you would do that. So I'm just going to bump that up to 1280 by 720. That should make the resolution a lot clearer, which is really good. And this camera is not really set up for the green screen shot that we're using here, but you can kind of see the edge of the green screen and so forth. But we'll use this as a good example. We'll bring that in, and now I've got two shots, right? But the problem is, of course, that I'm blocking out everything below me. So I need to shrink myself and take out the green. Maybe even do a little cropping of this edge over here, so that's out of the shot too. So we're going to double click the shot. Wirecast makes it super easy to edit your shots and change things. So what I'm going to do is, this is the shot editor. This is where you do all that. You configure things, you can move things around, you can resize them. You can use these attribute tabs, which have all kinds of stuff. Like I can even crop, if I just reset this, I could use the crop tab and crop to the left. So that takes that out, which is really nice, right? And then we can shrink myself and kind of put myself in the lower corner. It's handy if you can see what's going on in the live window too. So I'm going to shrink myself and put maybe right down in the corner. And then I'm going to jump back over to my green screen key, which is an attribute tab also. And I'm going to check the chroma key. And I might even adjust the camera just a tad there, but you know, you're getting that shady of the edge of the green screen there up in the corner, which isn't too bad. So this is a demo. So if you need to adjust anything, you can maybe adjust the black threshold or the key threshold and so forth. Looking pretty good. You can see over here, I've got, you know, a kind of a composition. Because the iPad actually, I think, has a 4:3 aspect ratio. And by default, Wirecast has, you know, 16:9 aspect ratios for live broadcast, live video, HD video. Then I actually have these extra bars to the left and right because the iPad can't fill up the entire wide screen. So maybe it's best if I actually move myself a little more over there. I can even do handy, like, cool stuff like a horizontal flip if I want to, like, face the game. It might be an interesting shot to do. Play with perspective. Wirecast lets you do stuff like that. It's really fun. So I'm in the corner. I might even put myself a little bit more off the screen so you sort of see what I'm doing when I'm playing. My audience can see it. And we have a live shot basically ready to go to Facebook. So I might now take it using the go button. I've got my audio streaming. And so now I can hit stream. And that should appear on our Facebook page if everything is working correctly. So let's go make sure that's all good. It looks like this reset itself. So NBA Jam live on Facebook. Right, and I just repeat whatever the description is. Right? Remember where I'm posting and all that good stuff. Hit create. Looks like it unauthenticated, so maybe I need to do that. But once you have got it dialed in, this stream will be going live, in theory, out to your Facebook audience. So what I might do is I might troubleshoot all that. The problem is that because I have all this stuff set up so that you can see my screen and my desktop, I don't want to necessarily restart Wirecast because I'm actually publishing through a different Wirecast document so that you can see the screen. So what I'll do instead is I'll just play some NBA Jam so you can kind of see what that looks like, okay? And if we can even put me in the corner and so forth. So hopefully you can hear the audio. I'm going to turn that on so I can hear it as well. And I'm going to play a quick game here. Let's set my difficulties. I'm going to do and as my initials here. That. Okay, I'm not used to playing on my iPad. I usually play this on my my phone, which is a little bit easier to handle with the thumbs and stuff. This will be cool. It's kind of like playing it on a big screen. All right, so you know I have to play the Warriors, right? I have to, and you know who I have to be, right? Right. We all agree on that. There's no real question of that. Iguodala will be my wingman, and we could play the Trailblazers.
Detroit Pistons.
It's fun. Trailblazers, but in
San Antonio
the Spurs versus Warriors is going to be a really fun game.
Phoenix Suns.
I'm going to turn this down just a little bit so I can hear.
Oklahoma City Thunder. Brooklyn Nets. Milwaukee Bucks.
Not the Bucks.
Los Angeles Lakers. Indiana Pacers.
Are always
Golden
fun.
State Warriors.
No.
Cleveland Cavaliers.
You can tell I'm like gonna have to go through the entire NBA
Washington
lineup
Wizards.
just to get to the
Toronto
Trailblazers.
Raptors. Sacramento Kings.
There they are. Okay. And this looks like a fair matchup, right? This will be fun. Okay, so hopefully I'm not too rusty. I haven't played this in a while. It's been a little while. All right.
And the game is on.
So, oh, it's a terrible shot. I apologize. It's going to take me a little while to remember all this. All right, we stole the ball. Easy assist there, but I'll take the 3. So this is how you do it. Is the audio pixelating? Maybe we'll kill that audio too. It's kind of doing the same in my ear as well. Yeah. Alright, so what I'm going to do is kill the audio here. So I think things got a little too busy for it, and what's happening right now is my laptop's actually doing this in 2 places. So I'm going to kill this, my other document, and let's try going to my preferences, turning off live icons. Okay, maybe that will help. I changed a couple things on my computer. I just have a laptop here, so it's going to be spotty, I think. Looks like the iPad capture is dropping frames, so you know, you may have to play with this a little bit to get it perfected. And one of the nice things is you won't necessarily be redisplaying this out like I am from a first computer to my second computer. And what I'm going to do is maybe re-add it, and we'll see how that goes. Or maybe I'll kill my live stream shot there. Okay, let's see if we get a better result here. Not too much better, is it? Okay, so if you're getting problems like that, you just got to dig in and start practicing, start hunting down the issues. So we just want to eliminate variables, make it as simple as possible. Do you want to throw up the main screen behind me? Try reconnecting between the iPad and the computer. There may be an issue there. There might be other apps that are soaking up some of the processing power. It just depends on where the issue could be happening. And so I don't want to do a whole troubleshooting session on this right now, but just make sure maybe we run some more tests and maybe before we try this again, and make sure that the hardware that we're using is up to snuff. In theory, everything should work on maybe a solo setup, but again, I'm not doing just a solo setup. I'm doing almost a setup, examining another setup, all using the same type of apps. So there's a lot of different workflow things going on here that may not apply to someone just doing this back in on your own computer. So you may have no issues with this. The nice thing about it is Apple just made this connection available. If you have a Mac, you should be able to just pull this right in from your iPad. If you're on an Android or a PC, gets a little trickier. There are some mirroring apps you can try. You could try plugging from USB directly in and see if there's a capture app or a screen app that can grab it. It may you may have to install something. I haven't tried it on Windows yet because Mac just makes it really easy, but I think there's probably a way to do it, and we could maybe write a little blog post or a post if somebody has some tips on how you might do that on a PC. I'd be very interested to learn more about that. So one of the cool things about this though is that once you do get your mobile games into Wirecast, you now have access to send it wherever you want. And one of the best places to send it is sites like Facebook, because that's now available, and Wirecast is a great app to do stuff like this with. So what I'm going to do next is maybe check out if anybody's watching. We can take some questions, see if you have anything for me. We can spend a little more time on the air, and we can chat. So we'll try again. We try to do these once or twice a week. I think we've actually locked in Thursday afternoons. We tend to do webinars in the morning, so Thursday afternoons make sense to try to do live broadcasts like this to Facebook for live Q&A questions. I'd like to do some interviews, cover some different topics. I'm actually interested to see if we can get this working better for our next live broadcast. So hopefully we'll have some more answers for you by then. And we will continue to take on tough topics on the bleeding edge of technology, because that's where I think things are really fun and interesting, and trying to push the envelope with what you can do with this is always exciting, but you do get mixed results sometimes, like we just saw. So I'm going to go to Facebook here, and I'm going to pull this off so I can at least see the questions. Going to log in. All right, I'm actually going to go to Chrome here because I think I already have it pulled up here. Let's go to the Wirecast page. I haven't actually seen this. The downstream looks like we have 11 viewers on. That's cool. Pretty exciting. I'm going to click on this. And the delay is not bad either. I'm actually talking, and it looks like it's coming through within a few seconds. So I like that as well. You always get mixed results. Again, depending on how much traffic is on a server, you never know how much time it's going to take to turn stuff around. And I think the more Facebook dials this in, the better it's getting. And I'm getting more and more results, reports of it being really a great way to reach your friends, family, and wider audiences. All right, so I'm going to go through some of these comments. Thanks for leaving them. Looks like Matt, Brian, Giovanna, and Matthew. Thanks for all leaving comments. Lynn there. She's my boss. She's awesome. Okay, so Matt, has the glitch been fixed to finish? That's taking ages to live stream for a live stream to finish on Facebook after you've clicked stop on Wirecast. I haven't actually noticed that glitch. When we're done with these Facebook live broadcasts, I think this is our third one, they're generally up and running pretty quickly. I haven't seen too many problems with the archive. There was one issue where Facebook took it down because they thought we were using copyrighted material and we weren't. So that was the only time I saw one of our archived live shows disappear. Again, we always keep a backup copy, and I recommend you do as well. That's a highly recommended best practice, just so you have control over your own material and you can repurpose it, republish it. If this video was going, if there weren't glitches, or if I felt like there weren't still kinks to work out, I think we would republish this for our viewers to watch. So we'll have a local copy of it, but we'll see. This is kind of a on the fly as we go type of broadcast, and maybe that's not the best tutorial video for, we could put out something more polished later on the same topic. And Matt, yeah, another good question there. I'm just rolling down these comments, so I'll get to Brian and Giovanna as well. Hi, Giovanna. That's an easy one to answer. So do I ever think that VR will be able to do VR live on Facebook through Wirecast? Yes, I do think we will be able to do that someday. I don't know when, but I think we will definitely be aiming for that. That sounds amazing. And I'm so stoked for all the cool stuff that VR and AR are going to offer people. And you can imagine us being inside a live streamed room kind of thing, where we're all in the room feeling like being able to move in 3D space and talk to each other and perform these seminars almost like, we're hanging out in a virtual space. So I don't know if anyone ever played Second Life or any of those like avatar type apps or online social networks where you kind of had a second space. Those are sort of like the Sims online. I thought that was pretty cool. I had some friends working down there, and I think we're going to see that. That was kind of ahead of its time, and I think we'll see a lot more of that as the big players like Facebook with Oculus and Magic Leap and Microsoft with the HoloLens and so forth. There's a ton of them out there, I think, that are coming. So really interesting article in Wired magazine on that recently. I just read that. Okay, what do we have next? Super impressed. Okay, so Brian, you're mentioning the same bug. I haven't heard of this. I'm kind of out of the game, I guess. I will talk to our support folks and see if they have an answer on that. And Lynn, if you're watching, if you want to go, if we have any answers, you can post that. Maybe you did actually already. Yeah, I don't think Wirecast is truncating it. I think, if anything, it's the end of the stream. Here's what we do. We run a pre-roll buffer and a post-roll buffer. So we are always streaming, 5 to 10 minutes before we actually want the content that we're relating to come online. I think that's just a best kind of what we've learned from webinars. People tend to be late to things. They're kind of piling in. So I just like to give a lot of heads up, some warning that we're streaming. If you log on, you'll see that something's going on. I kind of took a page out of some of the game streamers I've seen. They're streaming all the time, and there's times when things aren't happening, or they're getting a snack, or they're just away from their computer for a second. So they have a lot of like cards or post things that, like, when you're doing a live event, you just kind of let people know that it's sort of like a drop by and hang out event sometimes. If it's a highly produced, highly specific game or event that starts at a certain time, still you should stream 10 to 15 minutes before that with some pre-roll stuff, just so you're streaming. The connection's working, your audience can find you, everything's looking good. You don't want to go live on the dot at 3 when you're supposed to have the most important piece of content, and that could either get chopped off or there could be connection server issues. You just never know. So having that stream kind of pre-rolling before the important stuff comes on, I think is at least what we try to do. Same on the back end. When we've wrapped up, we leave 5 minutes or so just for people to log off, or we'll start putting like a thanks for watching, see you next time type card. So at least anyone who's watching the stream at the end knows that it just finished. The on-demand version should then not truncate important stuff. That's just how I would do it. So if you watch the previous live streams we did on Facebook, you would have to scroll through at least the first 10 minutes, kind of jump past all that to get to the content. And that's easy with players these days. You can skip ahead, preview what's coming, and jump to the parts that you might be interested in watching. And that's how I do it. And that could kind of sidestep the whole truncation issue if you feel like, there's something really critical getting cut off. But that being said, we'll try to find out why that's happening. Countdown timers are great. I think that's a great way to let people know something's coming. Not a bad way to have in your pre-roll and post-roll. So Brian, actually, I recognize you now. You sent me an email, and I will get back to you. So thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate the kind comments on some of the stuff we're doing, and I really actually was able to watch the clip you sent, and I think it's a really cool looking show. So do more of that, and I'm happy to talk with you. It's been a very busy couple of weeks, so I haven't necessarily got to everybody that's emailed me, and I apologize, you're one of them, but I'll get back to you. But thanks for tuning in, and I'd love to talk about some Facebook strategies. This seems like a great way to reach your audience, and if I can offer any assistance or help with that, I'd be happy to. We're actually working with some other guys you might know, so I'd like to chat with you too. Matthew, thank you. I'm glad that you like Wirecast and you're going to use it tomorrow for a live webinar or live on Facebook. That's really awesome. Very cool stuff. Cool, Brian, I will. I'll get in touch with you. So Michael, with future versions of Wirecast, can we change the bit rate to my the bit rate? My DSL connection is only 2 megabits per second. That's going to be a Facebook thing again. That's the size they want. That's what they're requiring at the moment. I don't know if they're going to open that up to additional sizes, frame rates, bit rates. I think they just kind of cut down the middle, not with full HD 1920 by 1080, but not with lower SD quality. They wanted to be able to kind of stay in the middle road, the 720 size. I like that size for online streaming. ESPN uses that for their online sports. It saves a ton of bandwidth. It's not as heavy on your processors, but it still looks really good. And it's easy to adapt lower quality or adaptive bitrate versions of that. So I think that is where they'll stay for a while, and I don't know what the future holds with that. It would be a good question to ask them. So sorry the live gaming didn't work. I thought that was going to be really fun. Maybe we just have an old iPad. This is kind of a bit older. and maybe it's not keeping up with the frame rates that the game's requiring or something. I was gonna show some Minecraft, but I haven't played enough Minecraft to feel like I'm competent yet to demo it or play it during a demo. And that might be a lower frame rate, or it may not be as much action. There's a lot of effects and sprites moving around the screen for the NBA Jam stuff. And I honestly haven't even played it on this processor on this iPad, so that could just be the issue too. Maybe next time I'll try it on my phone and we can use that and try see if we get better results. Cool. Well, I think that's it. I mean, we've been streaming for a little while. If you have questions about that, how to connect iPhones, iPads, or stream mobile games, just reach out to us. You can email, me at andrewh@telestream.net. Again, that's andrewh@telestream.net. We'll put that on the screen, or I'll have that ready so that in future broadcasts you can reach out to me. And you can also share any tips that you have on this, or if you find anything, I'd be really curious to know what your experience is like live streaming with tablets, live streaming with intense graphics or games. I think games in particular there's a lot of data to crunch. The compression really needs to work hard to grab all that. So it can put a lot of stress on a computer that may not be up to it or is already doing a lot. So maybe that's what's going on. But if you have experiences, please share them. Email them to us, post them on the Facebook page here, and we can try to figure out why that might be happening. Very curious to get to the bottom and get better tips for you guys. Find more at telestream.net/Wirecast. Deborah Lee, thanks for throwing my email. It's in the corner there. Nice job on that. So if you guys do need to reach me, you have my email. And we will see you next Thursday about 2:30. I think we're going to shoot for 2 o'clock, 2:30 every day on Thursdays for live streams here on Facebook. And then we will probably start with that once a week. After that, we may add, I think I also like to do a ScreenFlow live broadcast as well. We're building this as we go. There's a lot to do. So hope you guys enjoy these, and it's always nice to get these great comments and talk with you. I'm really enjoying the process of doing these, and I'm looking forward to being able to do it regularly once a week. All right, that's all for us. So long. I will see you guys next week.